Good morning, everybody. Children watching this stream. I think that I have dropped the F-bomb way too many times to be worried about that at this point. I really, really try hard to not say it. And then we get like Tassanex coming in here, and I don't know, I have this aversion to his GAC focus, and F-bombs start flying. So I try, but any parents who are letting their kids watch this, they've made a mistake. Effort is made. There's not too much I can do about it. I noticed this morning I got Smugglers Run 2 to run, so we're going to see if we can knock this out really super quickly. Sometimes it's quick, sometimes it's not. We'll see what happens. We don't want Hondo. Oh, man. We run the beginning on manual. I find that does help the chances here of getting that win. To try and keep Chewbacca alive through the first round, but for the most part, it's luck to draw in the last round on what happens, and we just go through the taunt, we hit auto, and then I get to relax as if I've done anything this morning already. Oh man. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 7 reviews that need to get done today. I don't know if we're going to get to all of them. I'm going to try to do it, but Cap and I are going to be doing something tomorrow morning anyway. So even if I don't get to everybody, I think we'll be all right. I also want to check in on TW. Yeah, I've been up since about 4:30, this morning. My body hates me when it comes to sleep. It really does. It got really bad during COVID. Pre-COVID, my wake-up time was 6:15. During COVID, my body just started waking up earlier and earlier to the point where some days I'd go to bed at midnight and wake up at like 1:30, 2 in the morning. I've gotten better, but last night I think that my wife and we just went to bed fairly early, and so my body only being used to having like 6 hours of sleep on a good night was like, hey, you've had your 6, wake up, get going. Cap messaged me right away. He was like, hey, what's going on? You had messaged me right away as well, and I was like, I'm gonna wait till I wake up before I talk to people that don't know I can be grumpy. So for me, I will normally wake up around I'll go to bed around like 11 p.m. and wake up around 5:45. Last night we laid down probably around like 9:30 and went right to bed. So my body got like 9:30, 10 o'clock, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. It got it 6 hours, and it said, hey, you're good to go. We're ready. Get up. Stop being lazy. And really, that's why I get to do these brunches, right? It's because my body hates me, and I say, hey, if I'm going to be awake anyway, I might as well do something sort of productive with that time. Does anybody have any, while we're doing all these like silly auto things, does anyone have any fun plans for today, for Sunday? Going to see my brother-in-law upstate. There's a great wing place down there, or up there. So I'm excited to get chicken wings. Good chicken wings. While I'm having all of the fun right now, I asked Cap to do my my GAC defense for tomorrow. So we're going to see if he can get me a win. For me, anything that's hot. I need something really hot, and that's the problem. That's why I'm so picky about wings. If you go to like any normal place, you know, like somewhere that just has like whatever regular wings, their hottest sauces don't even faze me. There's a place by me that has like mild, medium, hot, blazing, and suicide, which is in 2024 a ridiculous name for a hot wing sauce, but you know, it barely tickled my tongue. And this place has something that makes me think twice, and that's what I like. That's what makes me happy, is wings that are that hot. No, I go for like ghost peppers. I go for like anything that's gonna burn my mouth. The hotter the better. I have not been to a place that makes me sign a waiver yet, but I've heard of those places before. I don't know of any that are around here. I have gone to places where I've heard they had like back of the kitchen sauces, and I've asked for them, and the waiter will like look at me and be like, "Are you sure?" And I'll be like, "If you see me put these wings down and stop eating them, then I'm happy. I promise you, I'll tip you really well. I want them to be that hot." All right. Let's see. Godzilla, good morning, man. How's it going? Spice is my life. It's like Dune up in this house, man. Cap, like it gets. Well, is it usually not anymore? Every once in a while, yeah, I get that next morning. Oh shit, I shouldn't have done that. But usually my body has just accepted that I'm gonna eat really hot things, and it's not so bad anymore. Um, I have a whole thing of hot sauces. I can't cook with them though, because my wife does not like heat the same way that I do. Um, are you? No shit. Oh, dude. That's awesome. I mean, not that Arena Shard matters anymore, but that's kind of cool. I left the Arena Shard chat like 6 months ago. I was done dealing with everybody for no rewards. R.I.P. Some of these guys no longer in guilds. There's a bunch of people that I remember here. Used to hang out with and chat with. Um, so I have my TW, which we've basically won. It was a mismatch. We won the last one, so I don't know why we got mismatched here. Um, but let's help them out a little bit, shall we? You got to get into like 20. I try to stay around 20 just for the credits. Going lower than 20 is just not worth it to me anymore. That's what's the important thing. Marin. Marin is my love. Well, the thing with, like, full clears is that, we suck at TW. We don't stress TW at all. So we kind of just do what we want, and you can see that we've only taken out like the 2 walls so far when we probably should have a full clear. I didn't even notice that this guy was using a shitty comp. That's how little I pay attention. How did you feel when how did I feel when unlocking Jar Jar when you weren't there? My dude, if you go back and like watch even a portion of that stream, I couldn't even see. I was in a Jar Jar mask the whole time. I could not see shit. So I had no idea who was there. I couldn't read my chat. I was like going like this to look through the peepholes of the mask. Actually, this TW, I mean, it's probably because I have like a Reddit following, so it was easier for this person. But the GL of this guild actually reached out to me on Reddit yesterday, and it was a very nice guy. You know, just hey, it looks like we're facing you. You know, best of luck, have fun, blah blah blah. I wish more people. I know it's harder with TW to do that, but I wish more people would do that. Just because I like to chat with people, and I think it's just a nice thing to do. So that was cool of him, and we got chatting for a little while as well, and it was just a fun thing about yesterday. You know, and I apologized for the presumed mismatch. What you're supposed to do, what thread was it on Mildly Infuriating? Because that's like my second favorite sub. What you're supposed to do though is reply to it and go, oh my god, Egnards in the wild. Because that's what everybody does. The Disney World one. That must be an old thread, not from yesterday. Was it a yesterday thread? It sounds familiar. That's how much I fucking post on Reddit, is that I don't even remember where I posted. But that sounds familiar. Oh, yeah, no. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the dumbass math teacher. I gotcha. I know which one. I know exactly what thread you're talking about. The kid who got a bad grade, but he did a really nice job. Yeah, I like to do it to Cosghoul too. If I see him in the wild, I just post like a creepy emote for him. I get at least like 3 of those a day. People go, wait, get back to the SWG forum. Godzilla, what do you mean? I'm confused. Wait, what? What do I have left? I don't remember the Chimera comp to do that. I'm not going to make an ass out of myself on stream. How are they doing against Arribas? Not great, but not terrible either. Could probably just... Let's see. I'm going to do this on auto, but if I throw it with a Datacron, we should be fine. There we go. Cap, I have Moon working on something fun for tomorrow morning. It's a surprise, though. That's what I do for you, my man. Oof. You know, I just realized I made the tagline, let's see how many times I can say fuck you Bones in one stream, but Bones doesn't even wake up this early. So he won't even be here to hear me say it. Which is kind of sad. Yeah, I have. You know what's funny is a lot of people have been asking me about my Jar Jar, and they'll message me and say, "Hey, how has it been faring on defense? And like, how many holds has it gotten?" And I'm like, I haven't put it on defense because I want to play with my Jar Jar, right? Like, I want to see what it does. I've been using it to beat different things. In threes, it's obviously not as great because you don't get like the whole. You either have to choose between having a tank or having DPS. But I've used it in arena against like Raycron with the Jar Jar Cron. Actually, I did it with the Phalanx Cron. Black Hammer, man, I actually just added to my Twitch rewards. So on Twitch, there's like these Twitch points. And like on Cap Amazing's channel, I save up to make him do push-ups. And on Three Scoundrels, I save up just to highlight my message and say, fuck you, Bones. This morning, I added a fuck you, Bones to it. And I'm going to add a fuck you, Black Hammer to it as well. But it'll be more expensive than the fuck you, Bones. That I'll have to keep that in mind in threes because I've been using it against easier teams in threes just as a precaution, just to be careful. Yeah, that's the only thing I'm saving for him is push-ups. I want to see him do push-ups. All right, we'll check back in with TW in a little bit. Let's get my stuff, and then we'll get to these reviews. We'll see what needs to get done. Any good mods? Crit avoidance. We don't give a shit. Of course there's no good mods, because fucking Black Hammer is here. And when Black Hammer is here to wreck the day, I don't get shit. Let's see. Buy some of that. Some of those. Some of these. Some of those. A few more of those. I can't believe I don't have any characters that need holo projectors anymore. That's crazy. Yeah, we probably need some stun guns. Alright. My goal, I don't know if I'll be able to do this by the end of the year, but my goal is to get all of my characters to R0 eventually. And I gotta do L3 at some point. I clearly haven't invested anything in her. Alright, let's see. We got some reviews. My RNG does suck. I honestly, I can't even deny that. Like, at all. I get the absolute worst luck when it comes to that. Oh shit. I don't want you to see my surprise from Moonborn. Alright, let's see. We got Xilegolas up. Suswine. That name is familiar, other than it being a Pokemon thing. I know that it's a Pokemon thing. Yeah, they were pretty good in threes, but obviously I want Jar Jar in there, and he's not a DPS. And what I've been finding is that when I use Phalanx in threes, I don't have a lot of DPS, so there's a little bit of nervousness to it over what I would have in fives. I did just get the Jar Jar Kron though, so next round I'll probably use Boss Nass, Jar Jar, and like Tarples instead of Boss Nass, Jar Jar, and Phalanx, because I had the Phalanx Kron. So I'll have a little bit more DPS in the next set of threes. Alright, so let's see what we got here. We got Legolas, top 20 of your fleet, Leviathan, Executor, Profundity. This is a Chromium 4 free-to-play alt, so that means that, I mean, it's an older account if you have Leviathans that you're seeing already. Not coordinating with Discord. Assault battles are kind of all over the place. We'll take a look. What are you working on? Reva Shards, I'm at 252. That's kind of crazy to be at 2.51 million and close to unlocking Reva, working on GL Leia. I'm looking for a farm to do after Leia, looking at maybe doing Jabba next or Executor. I mean, yeah, that's okay. Well, that's what you should be doing. I have all shards done for the ships. I just need to do BAM event, and I have his characters, although I am thinking about farming Gungans. How highly do you value efficiency? I enjoy going for squads that don't have a lot of Kairos needed, that can help keep myself sane before I move on to something more crazy. And it's just crazy to go after like the Inquisitors for Reva and then want to go after Gungans, but we're talking about the idea of going after squads that are not Kyrotech heavy. Are there any favorite characters you want to prioritize, even though you know it's probably not smart? Tusken Chieftain to get him closer to 390 speed. I don't even know how good that would be. Let's see. My Tuskens do not have the greatest mods in the world. They're not awful modded, but my Tusken Chieftain is at 303. So to get to 390, I'm wondering if that's like the top right now, and he just wants to be the top Tusken Chieftain for speed. That is a goal to have. All right, let's check this out, shall we? Chromium 3, arena page, current fleet arena rank. We have Tarkin. We're not doing very well at all. The thing to keep in mind when you're doing like an alt is deciding whether, you know, that fun is more important to you than the efficiency, because it's an alt. So on an alt, you don't necessarily have to do anything that's super crazy. I know like Captain Amazing, he, depending on if he's still here. I know it's late at night for him. He just started a free-to-play alt, and it sounds like he's trying to do something a little silly with it. When it comes to alts, you're not as focused on efficiency most of the time, unless that's the reason for the, you're trying to do something super hyper efficient that maybe doesn't make as much sense. We've got C. Let's check out our assault battles here, just because they look like, you said they're all over where I said that they're all over the place. Bounty Hunter, so you're probably doing Rebel Roundup of at least CT1, though you're saying that you're not sure. I have a funny feeling you might be doing it higher, even if it's with Imperial Troopers. Yeah, I mean, Veers, oh my god, why? Veers, Stark, Piet. I don't know how good or bad Scout Trooper is in terms of doing Rebel Roundup or Forest Moon. Let's see. Let's check out what he's got going on. I don't really use him. Accuracy down, accuracy up, afflict, expose. Come on, page, load. Stealth, run whenever an enemy. Alright, well, Empire's trapped, so he's probably not going to do super, super great because of Piet. Has her turn meter removed. She gains 25% turn meter, stacking max twice. So probably not adding a ton to the equation when it comes to... Yeah, so Cap is working on my defense for GAC. Tomorrow we're going to run my GAC, but he's going to do my defense for me. And we're gonna see if he can get me a win there tomorrow in the AM. So he's hard at work right now, I guess. I mean, I think for right now with where you are though, you should be doing CT1 of Rebel Roundup. You should be doing 1 or 2 of Forest Moon. So you should be okay. Places of Power, you have C. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing CT3 right this second. But you are on your road. Well, I mean, you probably aren't too far off here. Papa Palp leads, Sith Eternal Emperor. I think the only thing really missing is like a tank. Nihilist would be a great one, because if you get Nihilist to G12, it's 0 Chirotech. And once he starts annihilating something early on, it doesn't even matter that he's not relict. Military might 0. We have 1. We don't have the rest. I think with Captain Rex, if you remod, because they're all rebels, if you remod Phoenix, especially because you have a decent amount of their Zetas, you can probably do military might, at least at CT1. I've seen it done before. Your modding might be a little bit off. I think it's... Honestly, this is better modding than I see from a lot of people, generally, for like Phoenix. You should be able to do CT1. Maybe like Cannon's got not the greatest mods. If you put your GL mods on this team, you should be able to do that, and that'll make your life easier because you're going to get more Chirotech that way. Is Places of Power CT3 doable without Malik? I think it is. It really depends on your Sith. Is it possible at 3 stars? I don't know. But it should be possible. You are going to need a strong tank. And like I had suggested here, Nihilus is a very low effort tank because there's no Chirotech, and he ramps up his health with each Annihilate. So if you get 1 or 2 of those in the early, you don't even need to relic him. I did CT2 with Nihilus with 0 relics, and like Darth Revan at G9. So it's really about modding and taking it slow and steady. Ground War CT1. Secrets and Shadows. With Captain Rex, you should be able to do CT1. Fanatical Devotion, CT1, CT2. Okay, that makes sense because you're going after Reva. And let's just check out these Jedi. The Rebels CT1. Okay, so you're about where you need to be for assault battles right now. You could be doing better, no doubt, 100%. But the most important tier is definitely CT1. That's where your Zetas are. That's where your Chirotech are. So let's just take a quick overview look at what we got going on here. Did not buy the Lightspeed bundles because it's free to play. Got that. Grand Inquisitor, we have Jabba. How far are we from Leia? Executor. My God, you're so close. You are, man. Oh, I'm looking for them. So we're, okay, well, we're dead set on Leia. I mean, it's an alt. It's a free-to-play alt. So when we talk about being dead set on something, you know, it is what it is. I don't necessarily think it's the smartest idea for a player to be dead set on Leia, especially this early on. I think that you need to prioritize your fleet before you prioritize Leia, just because especially as a free-to-play, having those fleet crystals can largely really jumpstart your progress. With that said, you know, because this is an alt, not a main character, you might have no intention of participating in your fleet arena, right? You might say, well, I don't want to do that because I'm already doing that on my main account and it takes too much time. To which I would say, you can probably, right, if I were to go back into my game, okay, so if I were to go back into my game and look at my fleet arena, and this is a very old fleet arena. This is 7 years old. It's all Leviathans. Right? But you see that once you get to like the high 30s to 40s and the 50s, it's all negotiators. So you could feasibly, with Executor, get 50 crystals a day just sitting there. Even if you don't want to like fully participate in your fleet arena, you could get that just by kind of like sitting, especially assuming this is a newer shard than my shard is. Yours may go further back with lesser ships. But again, because it's an alt, I'm going to take you at face value, and you're saying, hey, I'm going after Leia, no questions asked, that's what I'm doing, Reva Leia. I would say do Executor after that, and then do Jabba, right? Executor so that you can at least sit into the top 50, maybe even get into the top 20s without too much effort, right? And then Jabba because of your modding. Okay, Leia, I don't know if she does or not. I've never seen it, but based on her team, I'm sure she does. Should be able to get you military might at CT3. Jabba should be able to get you CT3 of Rebel Roundup. If you put just a little bit more effort into your Imperial Troopers, like if you just do Range Trooper to G12, that should be able to get you the Ewok one, Forest Moon at CT3, right? This is just very small projects that don't require any real Chirotech investment. What else do we have here? Places of Power, I think, again, Nihilus should be able to get CT3 even by getting just him. these are some of the hardest rosters to review, because I have to get into like the head of the person who is playing and not just assume efficiency. But based on what you're doing, I would strongly recommend against Gungans right now. I know they seem like a fun team. They're gonna be very, very heavy Chirotech investments for you. It just doesn't make sense to do it right this second. Build out that ROI on your team a little bit more. Man, my chat is really fucking strange right now. Like, really fucking strange. Build out that ROI a little bit more, especially if you're looking for like really strange projects like, oh, I want to get my Tusken Chieftain to 390 speed because that's fun to me. You're going to need the backing of that from doing Jabba. Right? So I can't say that you're on the right track because you're going after Leia at this point. I think that that's the wrong move, but again, because it's an alt, it is the right move. But I do think you're on the right track in terms of where to go next from that. And I would just switch it, okay, so that it is Executor, then Jabba. Again, even if you don't want to like play with your fleet arena too much, you can sit in that top 50 almost 100% without any issues. You might have to do a battle every couple days, but I'm sure you're gonna have to do a battle for your dailies anyway, right? So I think that that's the smart way to go for you. I've isolated a couple smaller projects. Hopefully that helps. Baroness, I'm almost 37. These are words that I don't know, and I don't need them explained to me, I promise. I'm gonna take your word for it. Alright, what do we got? Battle tested. 4206. Let's see what we got here. For fleets, I normally sit at 20. Everyone beyond that are max 7-star. Profundity's Executor and 6 Leviathans the top. No fleet Discord to my knowledge. I have messaged 2 people about it, but got no response. I try to message more people. Message everybody in your top 10. Hey, and it should be a nice message. It should be like, hey, not looking to step on anyone's toes. I'd love to coordinate. Is there a Discord? Do it. You already know how to do it because you've messaged 2 people already. I would recommend it. I'd recommend putting together one. It makes life easier. Looks like your your ROI on your assault battles is not terrible. Rebel Roundup a CT3, CT2 a Forest Moon. That's a strong indicator that you already have Jabba. You might not, but it's usually a pretty good indicator. Military Might, we'll see if we can shore up. Ground War. Seekers and Shadows, very nice. Fanatical Devotion, we're not there yet. Current farms are Tickets for Raid, Bad Batch for the ship, Gas Team, and GG with Stop. After that, so you don't have... It's so crazy to me when people don't have Jabba, but they're doing Rebel Roundup at CT3 and Forest Moon isn't. After this, upcoming Proving Grounds, I'll have a lot to farm gear-wise because I'll have Ben Solo, Maul, Cat, and Bane unlocked. Also working hard on my mods. Remember, just because a character gets unlocked, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to work on it right away. You're working on Rey, so Ben Solo makes sense. I haven't looked at your roster yet. Maul probably isn't the biggest deal in the world right now. Cat is probably not the biggest deal in the world right now. Bane is probably a really great project just because he works so well by himself. But let's take a look, shall we? I don't need context. I believe you. I got you. We're good. Kyber 4, what are we working with on our fleet? We're working with Executor now. Alright, we're sitting 15. What do we have for this Executor? We're at 6 stars, so we're almost 7 star. I'm not a fleet expert, but Executor can beat Leviathan. It will probably need to be 7 stars. But I'd largely really look into it because If you can get that to 7 stars relatively easily, you can maybe stay consistently in the top 10, which is 200 crystals worth versus I think it's 100 crystals you're getting now or 50 crystals you're getting now, whatever it is. But you also said you're working on Bad Batch and the Bad Batch ship, and that can take out the Marauder can take out Leviathan too, so we'll kind of look at your progress on that as well, which is not something I normally take a look at. Let's see. So Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, Sith Eternal, you're working on Rey now. You got Boss Nass, so you're working on Gungans. Man, they got a lot of us with those Gungans. Oh, you got Jar Jar. Fucking awesome. Love it. Alright. I fucking love it. And fuck you, Bones. You get a fuck you, Bones chant in chat today. Or maybe we get we'll take that farm Jabba and it'll change to fuck you, Bones. Let's see, these Bad Batch. Those of you that have it on your TV and you have your kids watching, I am sorry in advance. We're working on them. Okay, not super great though. Do we even have Marauder unlocked? We do. Alright. Okay. It's not letting you say fuck you, Bones? Oh, because of auto mod. Oh, auto mod, never change. Let's take a look. Maybe that's why last time I couldn't get a fuck you, Bones going on Twitch. Alright, I want to check out your... See, I have so much to learn. I don't spend a lot of time on Twitch. I have so much to learn about Twitch. Let's see these characters. Well, Mommy Dom, I don't know, man. Fuck you, Bones versus Mommy Dom. Are they that? I don't know. Alright, let's see. So we're doing a Rebel roundup at CT3. Forced Moon at only CT2. That's really, really fucking strange to me. Man, you should be doing this. Veer Stark Piet, Dark Trooper, and Range Trooper at G12. You should absolutely be doing Forest Moon at CT3. Remod for the event. Those extra relic materials are worth it because you don't have to put in any extra effort. Man, I did this with Veer, Stark, Piet, Snow Trooper, and Range Trooper with Snow Trooper and Range Trooper at G12. I just threw on my God mods, and after I got the first kill in Phase 1, it was basically auto. You can absolutely do that. No, we don't care about the Jedi right now. Rebel Roundup, Luke, Chewie, Chewbacca, C-3PO, Han. You should definitely be doing Military Might at CT3 as well. Your speed on CLS looks good. It might take a couple of retries. I would put Chewpio in the second slot to make sure that CLS gets the guard. Maybe you need to remod for a little bit more speed for the event, and you definitely do need to use the event special on everybody to kind of get those assists going. Yeah, so like Chewpio doesn't have the greatest speed, and he assists constantly, which is really nice, but you still want him taking turns. If you just remod for this event, Military Might should be a CT3 right now with no extra gear levels. The same thing, C-3PO is very low speed. Remod that CLS team and you're pretty good to go. So last year, my list today is 7 if I can get through all 7. But if I can't get through all 7, Cap and I are doing another stream tomorrow morning. So I'll probably be able to get through some more tomorrow morning as well. Tomorrow morning's Memorial Day, so I have off. I have off on Tuesday morning as well. I don't know if I'm gonna stream that day, but we'll play that. We'll play that one by ear. Let's see what else. Ground Wars at CT1. We have Revan. You have Hermit Yoda. Honestly, you can probably do at least CT2 with this team. Just for the event, use Jedi Knight Luke as your lead and take off all your speed. You want 0 speed on him. And for the event, I would do like a crit avoidance arrow. I mean, an offense arrow is not terrible. Without adding any more gear levels to your Jedi, with Jedi Knight Luke as the lead with no speed, Hermit Yoda as fast as humanly possible, Grand Master Yoda, Jedi Knight Revan, and General Kenobi, you can probably get that at CT2. I don't know if your Jedi are there yet for CT3, but I could see it with the right modding with that team being able to be done. And the whole idea is that you use the given special from Jedi Knight Luke as quickly as possible to speed limit everybody. And you want to end every single round with his mass attack so that he starts the round and speed limits from the beginning, right? So hopefully those are things that'll kind of get you some free stuff pretty quickly. Cap and I were just actually talking about the fact that we have very similar outlooks. DRX, I don't know if you know this, I'm pretty sure you are on our Discord, but we just opened up the recruiting section of our Discord, and it works a lot different than most of the recruiting sections of Discord. And I mean, there's like 1,300 people there. You can definitely post there in the player looking for guild section. You know exactly what you're looking for. I'm sure someone will eat it up. People, I know that when guilds post guild ads, it's harder for them because recruiting is tough. But when players post their own ads saying, this is what I'm looking for, this is what my expectations are, people eat that shit up right away. As long as the expectations are reasonable. I want to check out these Tuscans. Okay. All right. Let's see where we're at with our GL gear needs. Well, if you are going to post in the recruiting section, I highly, highly, highly recommend posting a .gg. Because it lets people look. Some guilds have very stringent requirements. Like, oh, you have to be this focused or that focused. I always recommend posting a .gg in that regard. So you're ticket farming Ray right now. You said you're close to JML. All right, that's not bad. Jabba, you're fairly far off from. Executor, we have. Profundity. Leviathan's not terrible. Let's see. No Malgus yet. So if you have no Malgus, that means you do not have Malgus to ship either the Fury class. But let's see how your other Sith ships are. Daggers up there. Mark 6 is close. What's our GP again? You have SLKR. 7 million. Normally, in your position, I would tell somebody to do JML because you're closer, to do Jabba, and then to do Profundity. I think I'm going to switch it up just a little bit here. You should definitely do JML. You have Jedi Knight Luke already. You're much, much, much closer to Jedi Master Luke than you are to Jabba. I would start working on Jabba. Well, let's just check out Mon Mothma really quickly. Yeah. Okay, you already did that, actually. So you already have them. All right. So I would do JML first. As your main project, you're just that much closer. It's going to help you with Conquest. That'll definitely solidify the CT3 on Military Might as well. I would 100% do Jabba afterwards. It's really important for modding. And I actually think you should go for Leviathan over Profundity. You're not that much further away from Leviathan. You don't have Malgus yet. You don't have Fury class yet. Okay? I understand and I recognize that. But what I also recognize is that you are a little bit far off and you have other things that are more important right now. And you're working on Marauder, so you should be able to stay fairly competitive once you have done your Bad Batch with your Negotiator. I would work in your Bad Batch... Honestly, just because you need it. They do, I know. I know that they can beat Malgus, and I know that they can beat Fury class. They have SLKR. It's a matter of how close they are months-wise. That I don't know. I would say work on your Bad Batch first, because Executor can get you there. But you already have Marauder up there, and it'll be your fastest way to being able to consistently get into the top 5. So I would do Bad Batch, JML, Jabba, Leviathan. And in the time that you're working on all of those projects building up to Leviathan, you should be getting Malgus and Fury class shards. You're at 7 million, so I can't imagine you started at 0 Fury class shards. Maybe you started at 0 Malgus shards because that was a while ago. But I think in that 6 to 8 month time frame, you should be close enough where it might make sense to speed them up. I just am worried that with the new fleet or the new upgrade to fleets potentially maybe coming out on the nearer side or being announced on the nearer side, you want a more future-proofed fleet. You want a more future-proofed fleet than Marauder, which I don't think is going to be as future-proof in the same way that like Finalizer didn't really punch up to the next ship, and Empire with TIE Dagger doesn't really necessarily punch up for Leviathan. So I think you'll want to have the latest toy because it's not that far off from where you are in relation to Profundity. Yes, they can get it if they're buying passes, if they're doing this, if they're doing that. I think because they've probably been doing Malgus for at least a few months, and because they most likely have a few Fury class shards since it's not as old, even if they were doing normal Conquest, I don't necessarily know if refreshing will even be worth it because of the other projects ahead of time. Right, you'll be building those shards, and as you get to the point where you're nearing the end of Jabba, you can make that distinction now and say, hey, you know what, I can either do this in 3 months or 6 months. Does it make sense to do it in 3 months? Will I be ready for everything in 3 months? Or does it make sense to do it in 6 months? And that's always the question that we need to be asking ourselves. Okay, so I think that's kind of the route to go. Hopefully you go back, you kind of listen to the things I said about assault battles and what you are totally capable of doing versus, you know, what you maybe think you're capable of doing right now. All right, let's see. We got Supreme up. It is, ooh, exactly the 1 hour mark. Kind of cool. Kind of cool. Let's see. Supreme. What's top 20 of your fleet Discord? Max Leviathans or the random Thrawn sitting there? My rank is around 400. Oh my god. I hate that. I know I've neglected ships. I have full executor requirements ready to go, except BAM is ultra low, Gary. Yes, but actually, no. Assault battles, do your best if you don't remember. CT 1 to 3. 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 0. Okay, so you have the ROI for Kyrotex and Zetas. That's the most important part, right? But we're still going after it. What are you currently working on? Ray, Jedi Knight Luke, JML. Are you dead set? Kinda, my LS is severely lacking, not like my DS is top tier. How highly do you value efficiency? Efficiency is better than me. Are there any favorite characters you want to prioritize, even though you know it's probably not smart? Probably Treya Trio. I'm going to tell you when it comes to Treya, I still haven't brought Scion to Relics. Treya is great in GAC. I use Nihilus, and when Treya's Omicron came out, I used it as an excuse to get Nihilus up because I've always liked his character in the game. But just being distracted. I've always liked his character in the game, but there's just so many other options for tank, and it's not necessary most of the time. If you want to do him, you can do him. That's what she said, or whatever else. All right, let's see. We have not our Discord up. We have our .gg up. 6 million. Mostly Leviathans. Okay. Finalizer. Yeah, I would really like to see you at least getting into the top 50 for 50 crystals, right? That would be super, super, super lovely. That would be nice, because even 50 crystals over 30 days is 1,500 crystals that you're not normally getting. Azurite, good morning. I got you on the agenda. Hopefully we're going to get to you today as well. I'm on number 3. You are 6th in line, and it's still pretty early. But we will see how that works out. Profile. I used to hate laptops like so fucking much. And I've just developed an affinity for them over the last couple years. Alright, let's check out these assault battles, see if there's anything we can quickly shore up. Bounty hunters. Alright, those are doing CT2. Veers, Stark, Piet. Alright, I mean, if they're doing CT2, good for you. Places of power. You have SLKR. You can do military might. I'm pretty sure you have SLKR, if I remember correctly. Let's just double check before I say something stupid. Yeah, so you can do places of power at CT3 with the SLKR team. It just requires a little bit of fortitude because it revolves around using Supreme Leader Kylo Ren and Kylo Ren Unmasked, and just eating a ton of debuffs early on and on auto basic, and then coming back to the game and just wrecking shit. I'm not an expert on it. I've never had to do it, but there's probably 1,000 videos on YouTube on how to do it. It does take a long time, but it is... It does take a long time, but it is mostly auto. Yeah, so you can tell, Baroness, that I am a more upstanding gentleman. Because as you can see, my .gg ads are the Food Bank of New York, Capital Markets, I guess skincare ads. I don't think I have skin problems. And he's got a bunch of hentai. So clearly I'm in the right. And he likes to say it's just because he's in Japan, but we know the truth. Military might. Let's check this out. Ooh. You're saying you're doing military might at 1. Commander Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Chewbacca, C-3PO. Do we have Chewpio anywhere? Chewpio's coming up. He's getting there. I will tell you, I've said this a lot. I did CT2 of Military Might before Chewpio was a thing. Before Chewpio came around. And my only relic was a relic to R2-D2. But it was literally like Commander Luke at G10, Chewbacca at G10, Han Solo at G9, C-3PO at like G12, R2 at Relic 2. So you could probably get CT2 as long as you mod them really fast. There is a little bit of luck in Phase 4. See, that's Baroness. That's what I'm saying. Like, I actually, I haven't been to Costco since I was a kid. We have a BJ's around here where I am, and we keep saying we're gonna go, but we haven't been yet. Ground War CT2. I never check on their Ugnaughts. Maybe Ugnaughts can do Ground War. You're doing CT1. You can probably do CT2. You know, Jedi Knight Revan lead, General Kenobi, even Bastilla Shan at G12, Jolie Bindo at G12, and I think I did it with Jedi Knight Anakin. You could probably do it with Hermit Yoda. Again, this is a team that I did it with like a G12 everything and like an R4 Jedi Knight Revan and I think an R5 General Kenobi. It just comes down to modding to do at CT2. Jedi Knight Anakin might give you the damage you need, but Hermit Yoda with his buff is also going to provide a lot of value. It just comes down to Jolie Bindo not getting targeted, because even if 1 or 2 people die, you can stall around and then get them resurrected. And I do think it's when you can do something without spending any extra gear, I do mostly think that is worth doing. All right, let's see. Got Kylo. Rey is ticket farming right now. Let's see what we're doing with Jedi Knight Luke. We're not there yet. Our goal is that next. Yes, that Executor Profundity. Okay, pretty far off. Interesting on Leviathan. Very interesting on Leviathan. You have SLKR. How are our Leviathan ships? Why did I look up Leviathan? That was stupid. Dagger. Okay, I will say, you know, definitely am going through my midlife crisis right now as I do all of this. So thank you for providing that. I don't think I even used Ahsoka Tano when I did that event way back when. it really comes down to Revan killing GG as quickly as possible with a mark, and Jedi Knight or General Kenobi being able to use his mass attack. So again, you're in a similar position to the last person to BattleTested. You're actually closer to Leviathan than you are Profundity in terms of relic, which is interesting. That's not something that you normally see. I would say that I would focus on getting your Executor fleet up to a usable level first before worrying about Rey. You're clearly either ticket farming or just finishing up Rey right now. But I would prioritize personally my BAM gear, because Rey is a great character in the late game, and she is a GL. None of the GL are bad. Speaking of which, fuck you, Bones. Lord Vader is a top 10 character. She's not a bad character, but she doesn't provide a lot of ROI early on, and she doesn't provide a lot more that other characters don't provide before you are in the later game. I would say that getting Executor into usable territory where you are getting crystals, so even if that's just top 50, should be one of your major priorities right now. So I would prioritize like getting BAM up to R5, Executor, GL Rey, Jedi Knight Luke into Jedi Master Luke, Jabba, and then I would do the same thing that BattleTested did, and I would go Leviathan. Simply because you're closer there, and you have a lot of time. You have so much time before you do that, before you have to worry about that. And you'll be doing the Proving Grounds during that time in the interim. But I would start slow farming some of the Sith ships right now. Just so that you don't have to worry so much about it later. So that is where I would go with your account. You're kind of on the right track here. I just consider some of the assault battle things that I mentioned to you. Really get Jabba on your radar. Really try to get into that top 50 at least. Maybe you'll be able to get into the top 20 with just a lower, 4 or 5 star Executor. And if you're able to do that, that's going to pay off dividends for you. Baroness, I highly disagree with you when it comes to C. And when we talk about whether something is good or bad, we have to look at it from all aspects of the game. And that's a mistake that a lot of people make, where they go, oh, well, and this is where I say fuck you, Bones, again, where he talks about how Vader has so many GAC counters, so he sucks. C provides a lot of things to an earlier game account. It provides a ton of ROI, and he's very useful in a lot of game modes when you use him correctly, and a lot of people do not use C correctly. C is one of the last GLs that I got because I was getting GLs in a different game environment where they were coming out 2 at a time and you had to pick, and I was catching up. C provides a ton of ROI to an early game account by bringing you very close to CT3 on 3 assault battles. C is amazing in Conquest when you use him correctly and with the right data discs. C with Malik, I'm in Kyber 2. I got a hold last match. I got a hold the match before it. C is still my most consistent hold in GAC 3s with Malik. In 5s, I don't use his defensive team because it pulls too many things away, and I'd rather use him on offense because C can take out 6 to 7 of the GLs very easily. They require different teams, right? But on offense, he is a solid powerhouse. C is going to provide you a ton of utility in territory wars as well. And when used correctly, he is a beast in territory battles. I don't think he is the best GL by any means, but he is definitely one of the strongest, one of the most versatile GL when used right. Whereas, like, Ray, for example, isn't really that great until the late game. Early on, that actually, Snorquest, I actually forgot about Proving Grounds. Ray or C beats almost all of the Proving Grounds, which provides additional ROI early on. Ray, as an example, is amazing in the late game. And Ray does so well at benefiting from Datacrons. Some teams only benefit from Datacrons when it's their cron. Ray benefits from Datacrons in almost every set. There's something that just works because she works with all light side characters. So any light side characters, if they have a Datacron, you can throw them with her, which makes her a powerhouse, but only if she has Ben. And you're not going to have access to Ben in the super early game. Ray does not do most of the Proving Grounds. Ray does not have any ROI early on for any of the assault battles. Ray is pretty good in Conquest, but she doesn't do anything that JML doesn't do 2 times better. Ray is okay in territory battles, but mostly in the mid tier, in the mid area, right? The neutral area, which is relatively easy. It's the dark side and the light side areas that are kind of tough and need strong teams. So being in territory battles with Ray is not the most amazing thing in the world. Until you get Ben, you don't get much from her, right? It's just, I would put her, and I know high-end players will disagree with me, but when we're talking about it from the viability of a mid-game account, I would put her pretty close to the low end of when you should be getting a GL, versus C being really close to the high end. With that said, with my rant over, I'm going to take a super quick break just to fill up my espresso, all right, and to go to the bathroom. I will be back in 2 minutes. We do have more of these roster reviews that I need to get done. All right, we are back. I put a little nip of whiskey in this espresso. I've never tried that before. We'll just see how that works. Before we start this next roster review, can we get one more fuck you bones going? That would be lovely. I was watching these Three Scoundrels yesterday, and can we get a ignore Egnards going? And I want to get a fuck you bones going. I can always get his audience to say fuck you bones. I can never seem to get mine. Alright, let's see what we got. We'll throw up Discord. Bones is a friend. Bones is a friend of mine. Bones is a piece of shit. Bones is a friend of mine. He hosts a podcast with two other guys. It's called Three Scoundrels. I love them so much. I've been on a couple of times. They're long form podcasts. They are it's three guys. One of them is like a whale. So one of them does spend a lot of money. One of them is very math focused like myself. And then you have Bones, who's just a conspiracy theorist. And they're informative sometimes, but they're very funny to listen to on my drives to work. It's like 2 to 3 hours every week. So it usually takes me 2 or 3 days to get through it. Bubbles, I did. I got a little mad at them because they always fuck up the math on things on days that I'm not there with them, and I sit there driving and I'm like, no, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. And I want to like yell at them. But they never get the math wrong when I'm there, so that kind of pisses me off. Anyone who hasn't checked them out and just likes to listen to something on like your drives, they're great. I enjoy them so very much. They're a lot of fun. They're great guys. They're good sports. Bones and I are good friends. I don't tell people fuck you unless they're good friends. I'm actually, believe it or not, I don't curse a lot, except around people I know and I trust. So that's me telling you guys that I know and trust and respect you guys more than anything else. All right, let's get back to work, shall we? We're at 123. We're on number. Well, let's do 124 because we're right there. That is very much an Egnards thing, is to get mad at them while I'm driving and just being like, you piece of shit. But I like to troll them. They like to troll me. It's all in good fun. Cinna. All right. 7.4. Let's see. A lot of people in this area lately. 7.4, like the 6 to 8 million range. Fleet Arena, mostly Leviathan, 2 Profundity, 1 Chimera, 1 other Executor, and a Partridge in a Pear Tree. No Discord communication. It's a shard from Fleet Launch. Talked briefly with one other who shares my payout, so we aren't screwing each other over. I have about 80% with running Triple Attacker Executor against Leviathan, so I'm usually in at least the top 5. That's good. I even when people are not, not fucking each other over because they've talked to people in their own payout, I really highly recommend having a Discord. Because it's not just about your payout time, it's about everybody trying to make it easier for everybody else. So like, for example, if you were in my fleet Discord and I knew that you had an Executor and that's all that you could jump with, and that your win rate is only like an 80%, whereas mine is like 95%, I'm going to do my best not to hit you, right? So that you have an easier time doing your entire fleet climb. That doesn't mean I'm not going to hit you if you're outside your payout window of like 3 hours, but I am going to try my absolute best to make it happen, right? So usually I only have to do 2, maybe 3 battles a day, whereas if there was no Discord, I might have to do 5 because of the other people in the shard. But I am happy to hear that you are largely where you need to be. Assault battles look like they are mostly intact. Yeah, places of power, slogging with crew, Mostly not bad. Getting my last 2 PGs into farm mode. Tie in and Malgus should have done this round, but if not, then that's my primary concern. Will unlock Quad May this week. I'm not sure if she should be a gearing priority at the present with my roster. Also have SK unlocked from the earlier Lightspeed bundle, but I haven't been sure when he should get geared. Next journey is Jabba, then I have no idea what I'm going to go to. Not in a Reva farming guild, so inks aren't a massive priority. Are you dead set on continuing? Just on the farmable PG finishing since I'm doing the Conquest Plus pass for the time being. How highly? Mostly efficiency, but I have a slight compulsion to 7-star as much as I can. Bit of a holdover from ancient TB guild instructions. Are there any favorite characters you want to prioritize, even though you know it's probably not smart? Nope, just SKL LSB bundle took care of that. Quit 2018 after the NS nerf and H strength. We all remember that. Returned about a year ago at 3.5 million GP. So, just to kind of answer something here. In terms of Quad May, I do not believe that she is going to be a priority for you personally. I have 11.7 million GP, and I'm probably not going to be gearing her. I'll probably take her to G12, but only because I have enough core gear, and the rest of my roster is G12 or higher, so it's not like I'm putting anything else off. I'm sure people will find homes for her without her 2 marquees. Not a question. But I don't think that I'll have a home for her that I'm willing to invest in right now until I've done her marquees. So I'm not even really putting in anything. Now with that said, once we get raid announcement and once we get an idea of what the raid looks like, that might change. But tomorrow, it's very, very unlikely that I am personally going to be doing it. Let's see what else we were saying. Oh, compulsory 7-stars. So I get that. That was part of me catching up, right? So I played very casually for a very long time, and part of my catch-up was making sure that I had everything at 7 stars. What I recommend doing is just always having maybe 3 or 4 farms that you're slow farming. Now that might mean that maybe 2 or 3 of those are farms that you need for right now. But what I did is I would have like 5 farms, and I'd put them in my favorites list, and maybe 2 of them are what I needed right now, right? So I would refresh those once a day. 2 of them I needed for my next farm, so I wouldn't refresh those at all. And then 1 of them was just like an extra farm, and I just would do that, right? So that I could still get gear each day, but so that I could slowly bring everything up to 7 stars. I totally do understand that compulsion, but you're at a place in the game where there are so many projects for you to work on that you don't even have to worry necessarily about that being a concern, because there you have plenty of things that you can be starring right now. So let's take a look. Last updated 34 minutes ago. So we should be doing mostly average rank 4 most days. Yeah, okay. I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. Let's see our collection. Let's see what we can shore up here, shall we, for assault battles. I have a funny feeling that you can do CT3 of Forest Moon with this team. With Veers, Stark, Piet, Snow, and Range. You are going to have to remod to your fastest mods. I did it with Veers and Stark at R3. But really what it comes down to is if you have enough speed on the team, you will find that once you get the first kill in phase 1, the other team isn't even going to get turns, and you're going to be stacking so much Emperor's Trap that you're going to be killing things very, very quickly. So I would maybe recommend remodding full on for speed for next time for this whole team, and just see what you can do. I have a funny feeling that you'll be able to do it. What else? Military Secrets and Shadows, Places of Power. Everything else looks pretty good. Knight's Sisters. Doing at CT1. So I've seen some crazy things with this team. Once you do get Mera into G12 and you start investing some Zetas into them, you could honestly probably get CT3. I don't know if it's necessarily worth it in the short term. Some of those Zetas can largely be really, really important. So that is Rebel Roundup. Did I say Rebel Roundup? I meant, if I did say Rebel Roundup, I'm talking about Forest Moon. That's why I didn't suggest Rebel Roundup. Or I did and I said the wrong words. But you are absolutely correct. For Rebel Roundup, it is a little bit harder. And because of the preload in round 1, I would suggest higher gear levels. But for Forest Moon, it's not too bad even at lower levels. So if I said Rebel Roundup, I apologize. That's not, those were not the right words, which sometimes happens. I told somebody this morning 10 divided by 10 was 0, so I didn't have enough coffee. We'll have to go back to the tapes. All right, let's see. Where to go? All right, let's take a look at some of this stuff. Got that. We got her. We got Jedi Knight Luke. We have Jedi Master. Okay, that's awesome. We have Sith Eternal. Kenobi, Vader, Starkiller. We have Jabba's not too far off. I think we're gonna have. All right, let's take a look. You can do the ISC and GAR thing if you want to invest in them. It is the cheapest option for doing it. I like being able to kill the 2 birds with 1 stone. But I do think that his gear levels are already there for Forest Moon. I just think he needs to mod it better specifically for the event. So you're going to have Malgus. It's always interesting because what ends up happening is I get a lot of similar rosters to look at all in one day. One day I'll be requesting, I'll be recommending one thing, and then the next day it's completely different thing. Okay, let's see. I did Mark 6. Dagger. What about Fighter? Interesting. Okay. Let's check out these Star Killer guys and see where we're at with them. Okay, so Star Killer's still very low. What about Papa? Papa? I mean... okay. I just did item to relics recently for Defender. It's not that I don't recommend it. I don't, unless you're doing it for Defender, there's just so many teams that can take it out now. Yes, you can do it for the ship. You can do it for the TIE Defender. Did I even look at your Defender? I'm not really worried about his short-term viability because he is hitting. Oh, he does have it. That's nice. Back to characters. Let's see. There was something I wanted to check here, but I don't remember what it was. Oh, actually, I did already. Okay, so here's the deal. We are mostly in check. Jabba does need to be your next farm for modding. That is really important. Where to put Starkiller in? I would do him in the short term. Here's the reality. Starkiller, Emperor Palpatine, and Mara Jade make up the largest portion of what makes that team work. Yeah, yes, having like old Ben and Visas, or now in my guild they're using like Treya instead of Papa Palpa just for TW. And some people use what's her name, the weird Old Republic one, Juhani, instead of Old Ben. You will not have an A+ Starkiller team without a really strong backing of those 2 for 5s. But you will have a very serviceable team as long as you focus on Emperor Palpatine, Mara Jade, and Starkiller. They're the largest vehicles that make it work. Now, with that said, you still want the other 2 to be up, because if you happen to use it on defense, which I don't necessarily recommend, having the other 2 weak will set it up for a really, really easy 2-shot. You already have Mara Jade up. You already have Old Ben up. You already have Papa Palp up. So really, it just comes down to getting Starkiller up, right? The one character. I would say do Jabba. Let me just look at our marquees, because maybe we can do them both at the same time. Yeah, they're already there. You know what? I would still say do Starkiller first. Don't do his whole team, because you have the majority of the team. But get Starkiller to like R5. Do him first, because you're going to need to focus on gearing and relicking for a lot of Jabba. So I don't really know if it'll actually slow you down as much as it seems like it will, because you're going to be working on other things as well. So I would do the Starkiller to get there, especially since he's a favorite of yours. I would remod for your Forest Moon just for the event. You can always remod back. You are a spender. You've bought Lightspeed bundles. You do support .gg. I can only imagine you have a Hot Utilities account, which makes it very easy to do remodding. Jabba is obviously next. That's a no questions thing. You clearly already recognize that. You've already said that you're going to do that. I think because you are going to, did we say Malgus, right? Yeah, you're going to finish Malgus. You do have Conquest Plus. You do have Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, which means that you are doubling up shards on Fury class. Supreme Leader Kylo Ren beats that tier very easily. You should be having Fury class in the next couple of months if you're going to continue with Conquest Pass Plus. If you're not, and you did it just these 3 times to get, to Quad May, you're still going to have extra shards from these events that'll make it a lot quicker. You're further away from Leviathan than you are Profundity, but because you have Malgus, or will have Malgus, and because I think you will have Fury in shorter order, I would like to see you future-proofing your your fleet by skipping Profundity right now. What I will tell you is that I think this year, my little tinfoil hat, and I don't normally talk tinfoil hat stuff, is that we're not going to get a capital ship, but we will get a fleet event similar to a capital ship event that will elevate one of our current fleets. I also think, if you look at Executor, a few months later we got a finalizer buff. Not a finalizer buff, we got the TIE, whatever that thing is called, the First Order tank. When Profundity came out, that is when Defender came out. When Leviathan came out, 2 months later, that's when Marauder came out. So I am of the belief that we are going to get a fleet event that elevates a fleet, and then we're going to get a lifter for Executor. That's my belief. Like Dengar ship or something, which people have thought we were going to get for a long time. So you might get something really nice for your executor, but I do think that having Leviathan will significantly help you. So I would do Star Killer. It's your fun farm. It's your thing. You spent $50 fucking on him, man, and you haven't raised him, right? To me, that is ridiculous to like spend $50 on something and not utilize it. So I would definitely do that in the short term. Go after Jabba after that. Go after Leviathan after that. You can start finishing up any of those ships that you need to towards that. Baroness is telling you because of Iden you should Relic Defender. I don't disagree with it. I think my Iden is like Relic 3. I do find my Defender to be largely very usable because of it, which will help you a lot in GAC. Where to go from there? Here's the thing. We talk about the game 8 months from now, 12 months from now. It's an entirely different game, you know? So where to go from there, I have no idea. I think that this is going to bring you into the end of the year, going for Leviathan into that. And since you are not in a guild that is currently farming Reva, and we look like 8 months down the line, they might be in a position to be asking for that at that point, right? So that's something to pretty much consider, that like, hey, they might want you doing that at that point. I do notice that you have Bane too, so I can only imagine you do have, you may have bought the Conquest Plus pass previous to this one, or you just finished it up over the last 2 months. So it tells me that you are pretty on the up with Conquest, and that you're probably not too far off from that Fury class. They just had an epiphany in relation to your spending and Lightspeed bundles. You definitely bought the Separatist bundle, as we can see, which is completely fine. But being in your guild, my point is that some Separatists will be used, and I think that you're going to be okay in terms of contributing to your guild in the best way possible. Right, so I don't think you have to worry too much there. But the plan that we've kind of isolated today, like I said, I think we're looking end of year, man. So I wouldn't go too much further than that, or further than anything else. So what you got to do, Chris, is you got to watch now and then go back and watch the rest later, right? Just catch yourself up to where we are and then say, no, I'm going to come back later and watch what was going on before. So let's move on. Got our Discord up. We got Avalanche. Just give me 1 second. I just want to make sure that we're still ahead in TW because they were catching up. I don't think that they will. We're way ahead, but I just want to make sure. And I guess if you guys want to see that too, you're welcome to. Yeah, I think we're mostly fine, right? I don't think I have to worry at all. We'll breach those, and they seem to be struggling with these. What's up front? I didn't notice. Kelleran back. Ooh. You know what? I just want to... It's all farm Jabba all the time. You know what? I'm doing this right now just because I can. Just because I don't want their Jar Jar to get any holds. Oh wow, I don't have it in my Dark Side crons. So let's do this real quick before we get into Avalanche. Bye-bye, shield generator. You guys are fucked. Is that mean of me? Am I not supporting other Jar Jars by doing that? Oof. This is actually the first time that I'm fighting a Jar Jar squad. I haven't seen one in the wild yet. Alright, I'm content. Let's move on. We're going to go on to Avalanche. It is 147. 20. Avalanche says, what's the top 20 of your fleet look like? 11 Leviathans, 6 Executors, 3 Profundities. Are you coordinating? No. How would I find it, though? So here's the thing. I have about a 4-minute video. You can tag me on Discord. You can tag Cunctator on Discord. It's super easy if you need a video walkthrough. It's like 4 minutes, super fast. But basically, the idea is that you look at your fleet Discord, you find somebody's name that like doesn't seem like easy, right? So you're not going to find like a Mona Lisa, which there's like 5 of them in my fleet Discord. You're not going to find like a Kyle Katarn because everybody picks the name Kyle Katarn. You're going to find like a dude named, my name is Dumb Butthead or whatever. Something that most people are not going to pick. You're going to type that name into Google. My name is Dumb Butthead, space, Star Wars Galaxies of Heroes.gg, SWGOH.gg. Their .gg account is going to pull up. You're going to just kind of match it to the fleet Discord. You'll be like, oh, hey, this guy uses that fleet. This guy has the same fleet. This seems to be about the same person. And then you're going to get their ally code from that. And from that, you can message them in game. And you can say, hey, is there a fleet Discord to start coordinating? Right? I highly recommend that. I have not looked at your account yet. I would say that for the most part, I would not do that until you have a GL ship, because that's usually a requirement of most fleet Discords. Assault battles. Oh my goodness, so much spacing. Rebel Roundup CT1, Force Moon CT1, Places of Power CT2, 1 star, so probably First Orders, SOKR. Military Might CT2, Ground War CT1, Secrets and Shadows CT2, Fanatical Devotion 0, what are you currently working on? Finishing my Padme, GG, NS, and Resistance teams, then moving either towards GL Ray or Executor. Are you dead set on continuing with the current farm you're doing? Mainly just want to finish the teams, but it's not the highest on my priorities. Padme, GG, NS, and Resistance teams, then GL Ray or Executor. So you probably bought the Ray bundle too. How highly do you value efficiency versus fun? Usually 50-50. Are there any favorite characters? Not really, unless it makes up a silly cheese team. I was wondering if I should keep pushing up Finalizer fleet or go towards Executor. I'm trying to hold my top 50 fleet for more crystal income. Ooh, I think I sounded kind of like Neve on Catfish there. Let's take a look. $5 million. Yeah, we're having trouble hitting that 50, right? We're having trouble. How many Executors and Profundities? 11 Leviathans, 6 Executors, 3 Profundities. Okay, let's check this out. Let's see how just close we are to Executor. While we're here, we might as well look at these things too. Yep, definitely bought that Lightspeed bundle. Look at that. Is that a Walmart ad? See how wholesome I am? You're not going to find Ashley Madison ads on my Twitch. Captain Amazing. Jedi Knight Luke. I'm not there yet. Sith Eternal. Lord Vader. Star Killer, Grand Inquisitor, Jabba. We're not that far off. Alright. Let's do some digging, shall we? Alright, let's take a look at these assault battles, see what we can do, see what we can shore up, see if there's something we can do easily. Honestly, your bounty hunters can do CT2 of Rebel Roundup. It is kind of tough. Bosk Lead, Jango Fett, Grief Cargo, Mandalorian, probably Boba Fett. Remod them, fastest mods. You might take a couple retries to do it, right? So you see like this 5-speed defense mod, this 4-speed potency mod. Your speed is going to matter more for Rebel Roundup. You might have to refresh the event a couple times just because there's so much TM loading that sometimes you just get a bad RNG pull. But I can definitely see these guys doing CT2 at 3 stars, no problem. Forest Moon, not there yet with these guys. Let's check out our Separatists. Same thing with Forest Moon. You can probably do it. I don't remember the exact team because I don't think it was just General Grievous. But once you get him up, you can probably do CT2. There's a lot of TM that goes around with B2. It's not my recommended route, but because you are building the team anyway, and you've bought the Lightspeed bundle, you know, you should be pretty okay. Same thing with Places of Power at CT2 with the 1-star. You have SOKR. Man, I can't talk today. You should be doing that at CT3 with the 1-star. I know it's a pain in the ass. Look up the videos. SOKR, Places of Power, CT3, you'll find tons of them. It involves setting it on auto basic for like 45 minutes, walking away, coming back, and then wrecking shit. But those are free things that you're leaving on the table right now. Military might. Military might is CT. You doing CT2 with you? Doing CT2. All right, good for you, man. Secrets and Shadows, CT2. You can hold on that. So other than the things that I've isolated already, you should be pretty good. Let's just check our Jedi because I skipped that one. All right. Other than what I've isolated right now, you should be fairly good with what you're doing. I would say that your biggest priority right now, bigger than Padme, bigger than GG, bigger than finishing Night Sisters, and you know I fucking love my Night Sisters, bigger than your Resistance teams, is finish Executor. You will, based on your fleet shard, even if you don't want to put in a lot of effort, you should be able to pretty easily get into the top 20 with your Executor and stay there. You might need to bring it to like 5 stars. But you should be able to get into the top 20 with that, and that's going to give you 100 crystals, 100 crystals a day. And that adds up. That's like 3,000 crystals a month. You might even be able to get into the top 10. Maybe not all the time with a 5-star Executor, but you might notice that you hit the 11 spot one day, and then somebody with a profundity is in the 7 spot. So you hit that and you hit 7 that day. So I would not sleep on Executor as being one of your biggest priorities right now is to get to that. Those other things, those other teams, they'll help you out in in their specific game modes, but nothing is going to help you out as much as Executor is going to help you out right now. I would, so let me look at your Night Sisters. Okay, I mean, what sucks is Merrin does transform this team, and they're a lot of fun. I really do enjoy them, but they are going to hog up a lot of Zetas that are going to be necessary for you over the next couple of months, and I can only imagine that you probably do not have Gungan Phalanx at 7 stars, right? So Yeah, so you're not getting Zetas in this upcoming bonus match, this bonus event that's coming up in a week and a half. Um, it's just a lot of Cairo hogging stuff when I think that you have bigger priorities right now. I could see the GG team specifically because, with Stap coming out, I think that separatist droids are going to be a viable thing in the raid. We don't necessarily know for sure, but I could see short-terming GG. I can see short-terming resistance teams because it segues you to Rey and you already bought that Lightspeed bundle, and that'll give you 2 teams as long as you Omicron Zori. But Executor is more important than anything else for you right now, so that you can shore up and get some degree of crystal income. And when you're getting that consistently, you'll be able to do so much more with refreshes each day, and that's going to make your life considerably better in relation to the game. Yeah, Monty, it's when you're using SOKR, it's auto. It's you just throw it on auto and you walk away. Until you're ready to fuck shit up, right? Don't play it real. Just walk away from it at that point. Go brush your teeth, take a shower, come back. After you're done, then you finish up the match. Again, we get to a point after this where your priority really is going to be the same thing that I tell everybody, like JML and Jabba. What people don't understand is you can have as much fun as you want with your account, but the first thing you want to do is build the ROI out on your account, because if you do that, then you can do whatever you want. So even if you're a casual player or a fun player, you want to have more fun earlier on, right? So if you build out your assault battles and you build out your modding and you build out so that you can do every one of the important passive events, that means that when a new fun team comes out, you can say, you know what, fuck it, I don't care if I'm first in everything, I don't care if I'm in the best guild, but I do want to go for this team, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to have the ability to do it in the short term. So I think right now I would do GG, I would do resistance, let me scratch that. I would plow through Executor as quickly as possible. Then I would do GG, then I would do resistance, then I would finish up Rey, which is part of resistance anyway. Then I would go for Jedi Knight Luke into, let's see how far away you are. Yeah, do Jedi Master Luke first. Jedi Knight Luke into Jedi Master Luke, then Jabba. Now, here's the thing, though. You've isolated other small farms, right? So, like, your Night Sisters and your Padme. So, I say things stupid. Padme. So, if you get burnt out from a GL farm, right? So, you finish Rey. You did Executor, you finish Rey, and then you're just like, fuck it. Like, I'm just burnt a little bit. Then do Padme. Like, it's a quick, easy thing that you can do. Then go for Jedi Knight Luke and Jabba. Then you're burnt out again. Then do Night Sisters because it's fun, and trade off a big important farm then a smaller fun farm, right? But Executor has to be your priority right now if you want to play. If you want to play this game, I don't want to say seriously because it doesn't sound like you want to play seriously, but I do want to say if you want to play it at a semi-higher level, if all of that makes sense, right? I would isolate those things and then continue on those fun farms, and at your progress rate, that's going to go through the end of the year, and there might be another 1 or 2 or 3 Lightspeed bundles that come out at that time, and that's going to give you what you need for the next couple of things, but that'll shore up your account for everything else, right? So we're there. We're good. There's not too much more for me to say. Let's move on. 201, 10. Alright, let's go back over here. Let's go to my Discord. Azurite, are you still here? I would love some input on your account while I'm reading this. So if you're still here, awesome. And also, Jailboy, are you here? Because you would normally be next up. I'm not sure if I'm going to do another one after Azurite, but if you're here, then maybe I'll consider it. If not, I'll do it tomorrow. Let's see. 8 Executors, 2 Profundities. Rest are all either Lightspeed Bundle and Negotiators or Malevolence with a single Thrawn in there. Are you coordinating? No. Assault Battles. CT2, CT2, 0 on Places of Power. It's a pretty easy one too, so that's interesting. Military Might, CT2. Ground War, 0. Secrets and Shadows, 1. Final Devotion, 0. Current Plans, Profundity, Jedi Knight Luke, Leia. Are you dead set? I'm pretty sure about my path. Will appreciate any insight you could provide. How highly do you value efficiency? I am 100% free to play, so I guess I need to be efficient in order to farm fun stuff later. Are there any favorite characters you want to prioritize? I'm still not sure about Leia as first GL, but it seems like a good idea at the moment. I also plan to farm Ahsoka show characters whenever they will come out. So I haven't even looked at your account yet. You are awesome. Okay, cool. I might have questions. I might not have questions. But what I am going to tell you is I personally do not see Leia as a really good idea. And I have not looked at your account yet. I'm still on the Discord. I don't generally see it as a good idea for a first GL. None of the characters are accelerated yet. It's very Chirotech heavy with 4 marquees. The extra event you get from it it's nothing to write home about, right? Like it's not like if you have it, it's fine. But otherwise, like it's not, there's nothing special about it. It does work into other things, but it also works in the things you're working on, works into other things that'll eventually work into Leia better, if that makes sense, right? So that's just my 2 cents there. But we're gonna take a look now. So let's see. .gg, Azurite Bird. There we go. Are you an expert in bird law? 2.2 million. So we are a newer account. Obviously, we're talking about first GL. Hey man, to be a completely free-to-play account, you've already got Captain Rex shored up. That's kind of cool. It's nice to see that even with Home 1 right now, that you are at least getting fleet crystals. That is definitely refreshing. I would like to see you get more, but it looks like you're kind of trying to isolate that anyway. Let's see what we got here for different things. You're doing CT2 on Rebel Roundup. I know you don't have Jabba, so your bounty hunter is very unlikely to be able to do CT3. Let's check out these troopers. Here's Dark Trooper, Gideon, Range Trooper. Honestly, and this, again, if you get Piet, who is going to take some Chirotech and Stark to like G12, you could probably do CT3 of Forest Moon. I don't think that that's a priority. The fact that you're doing CT2 is relatively nice. You're probably using the old Thrawn cheese to be able to do that. Places of power. You haven't invested at all in your Sith. I would like to see that change, but there's nothing we can do about that right now. Rebels, you're doing CT2. Okay. Jedi, we're not there yet. Fanatical Devotion, you might be able to get CT1 in the shorter term. Yeah, I mean, you are a lower end account, so your modding is not, you don't have a backlog of really great mods to rely on most likely. But if you mod these guys correctly for, wait, did I read that wrong? Let me just double check. Nope, I lied. Ignore me. You did do Secrets and Shadows. I'm thinking Fanatical Devotion, so ignore that. Profundity Falcon, Jedi Knight Luke, Leia. It's so interesting. Alright, let's see. Now, before even looking at this, I'm going to tell you that my preferred path, it's not even that your mods suck, it's just that you're at a lower end of the game and you're still building out your backlog, right? So when I normally say someone's mods suck, I'm talking about, hey, you're a 7 million account and you have no good mods at all. You're a 2 million account, you don't have good mods to fall back on yet. That's a different story to me. So like for me, I have 7 years of mods to fall back on. So even if I don't have good mods on like my Phoenix team as an example, I can remod them really well for an event, right? So normally when I tell people to remod for an event, I'm telling them, hey, you probably have these GL level mods for certain things. You're in an earlier part of the game, so you're not at a point where I can say, hey, remod this or remod that. You should have plenty of plus 20 mods spread out throughout your account. It's just something that we want to keep in mind. I will tell you that my preferred route for somebody in your position, which we're not going to go for right now, because you're already a little established, would be Executor into C, into Jedi Master Luke, into Jabba. And then you could go for Leia. That would be my preferred route. And that shores up almost all of the ROI an account needs. That is not the route that we're going to take here. I just want you, that's kind of like my disclaimer. That's my, hey, by the way, this is how I would do things. But let's see where we're at with your account now. Jabba, Jedi Master Luke. How close are we on this profundity? Oh, we're getting close to that profundity. That's going to really change your game, man. Once you have profundity and you're hitting like that top 10 and you're hitting that top 5 and you're hitting like the #1 slot, you're going to have more crystals than you know what to do with. My crystals just pile up. You know, as an efficient player, as somebody who like really pays attention to what I'm spending crystals to, they just pile and pile and pile, and that's what allowed me to jumpstart my Gungans. Alright, let's see. I know that we're working towards this. Rebel Officer is not that bad. Just make sure with the bounty event that you're prioritizing her instead of Wampa, because it's cheaper to get Wampa from Get 1 than it is to get Rebel Officer Leia from Get 2. Right. That's just something to keep in mind. The other thing to keep in mind is that when we talk about like the marquees for a character, getting to 7 stars is like the easiest part. That should never be the limiting factor for a player, the marquees. Skiff. Okay. I think if I were in your position that I would, and again, this would not be my preferred route. I want a route that works for you. I think what I would do is Profundity into Jedi Knight Luke, into Jabba, into Leia. That would be my preferred for you route. And hear me out. You're pretty close in terms of Jabba versus Leia, right? You haven't done that much work on Leia yet. But you are still closer to Jabba. Bosch is required for both of them. So you're going to bring it down regardless, and that's one of Jabba's marquees. So you only have to worry about 2. He's working on it now. He's working on his Raddus now. And he's close. He's like 500 away. He's getting there. Did I not say profundity in there? Let me restate it in a second because I didn't even think about the GL ship. But profundity is part of his plan. I apologize. They. I really should use they when I'm not talking about when I don't know. But to be fair to myself, when I look at my YouTube analytics and it shows me men versus women who listen to my stream, it literally says 0% for men. And I happen to know that I have a few female viewers. So that is how few it is. But I want to be inclusive, so I apologize. So back to my point, Bosch is a requirement for both of them. So that only leaves you with 2 Jabba marquees, Skiff and Quercetan. Quercetan is a cantina, and both of them are accelerated. So even if you start on Skiff today, just doing 5 battles a day, and you maybe do 5 battles on Quercetan a day, just so you don't completely cut off your signal data, they will not be limiting factors for you at all. That'll give you 2 super important things. It will give you Rebel Roundup at CT3, and it'll give you Smugglers Run 2. Smugglers Run 2 is one of the most important events in this fucking game right now. Especially for a young account that does not have great modding yet. So, Admiral Raider rightfully called me out that I forgot to say profundity. That is my bad. Put the profundity, or I thought I did, but I'm stupid sometimes. Put the profundity in there first. Jedi Knight Luke, I would say Jabba into Leia. And then, honestly, I would really work on a low-budget Places of Power team. Because you can do that relatively easily. I did it with such low Sith. And I found that when I started upgrading my Sith, it got harder to do because I was killing things too fast. I was killing things too fast for Nihilus to annihilate, right? Like a G12 Darth Vader, G12 Palpatine lead, G12 Darth Nihilus. Believe it or not, I did it with a G12 Dooku. And I liked Dooku there because it was no Kyrotech and he counters so much that he was healing himself constantly. And like a G12 City Traya will get you CT2. And that'll kind of play into your Traya Nihilus team for GAC. Right? So I would kind of do that. I would think about that strongly, getting that team up. Because it's very low budget. And it will give you a CT2 on another assault battle. So again, my suggestion would be Profundity, Jedi Knight Luke, Jabba, Leia. If you are dead set on Leia, please do Jabba right afterwards. Yeah, that's what I said. I said he counters a lot. That's why I liked him. Don't gaslight me. I think you guys get together on like a secret Discord chat and just say we're gonna fuck with Egnards today. That's why I used Doku. And this was before a lot of Sith came out that are like new, but like a lot of no, I said he counters so much that he heals. I know I said that. That but a lot of people are like, well, why don't you use like Malik, or why don't you like tell them to get like Darth Revan? Like, they're expensive. They're a lot. I use Doku, which is something a lot of people don't use. I will go back to the tapes. Go back to the tapes right after this. What time are we at right now? 2:16. I will listen to myself talk. I hate listening to myself talk, and I will listen to myself talk. I will do it. Don't tempt me. But that's what I would do there, and I think that that's the best route for you. And when you think about it, again, look, people are here to have fun, but like you said, if you're a free-to-play player, it's so important that you consider your ROI. It's like super, super, super important for you as a player. And I think Jabba just, if your modding is ahead of other players modding this early on, it's going to help you so much in GAC as well, right? I cannot stress that enough. Like, enough how important that is for you. So, with that said, Jailboy is not here. I'll get his done tomorrow. I hear my wife stirring upstairs. We're going to see my my brother-in-law. What I'd like to do, I've never done this in the past, so for those of you that are on Twitch, I would like to try, because he's always rating me, and I know that he's online right now. I would like to try to raid the Lysol and just kind of give him some support today. So let's just see if this works, because I'm not good at this stuff. So we're gonna try it out and see how this works out. No, is that not his username? I thought that was his username. Why do people have to have bad usernames? So give me a second, because this is my first time doing this, and no, why is that not fucking working? Let's see, does he have a username? Yeah. Is it an I at the end of his name? No, it's not. No, I did that, and it says that it's an invalid username. All right, there we go. We'll show him a little bit of love this morning before I head out. I gotta turn on sound. All right, so guys, I'm gonna head out. Watch his shit, because I've seen some of his shit, and it's good stuff.
Same Rocco